Hello, hello. I'm Kevin and I play The Binding of Isaac. I still don't know what kind of intro I like. I feel like that's the only intro that I've tried, and I haven't tried any other intros, but that's what we have. That's what we'll get. What the hell? Hmm. Another thing? I wonder... Again, okay. So the thing about why I don't talk too much about gameplay is because I know that Jacqueline doesn't really know or care. The thing about... for me though, having a conversation going without talking about what the heck is happening on screen is a little bit hard. I feel like even good conversationalists, good commentators, or not commentators, good conversationalists would may be able to go without dead air when not talking about games and stuff. But I feel like I'm not him. I'm not built like that. So it's gonna be hard for me to... I guess I will have to incorporate a little bit of gameplay combo into all this, because it's hard, man. It's hard stuff. Because as an introvert, I talk more inside my head than I do on the outside. Not in a crazy way. Okay.
Health down.
Not in a crazy way. Just don't talk a lot outside of my desk. And of course, I would prefer to maybe talk to other people in my life, but they're not always there, and that's why I have this thing. It's a voice journal, because some weekends, okay, living alone is a little bit crazy, because it's like you're really raw dogging like modern life, like going without... what the heck does this card do? Not good. So going, like, these days, not drinking alcohol, not smoking pot, not having internet friends, like not, not being in school, not playing like really online multiplayer games other than occasional arc raiders. Like, I'm really just living every day like it's my last, in the sense that the goal is to survive. We're all lost souls in survival mode, as a wise man says. But I really feel it, and when I don't have other people to talk to, it sounds like a little bit crazy, but this is genuinely how I navigate the life that I live. Do I wish that it was a little bit different? Sure. Am I making it work by recording myself having online conversations by myself? Yeah, I make it work. It's not ideal, but I think this is my way of adapting, and I think it's for other people out there that are raw dogging life, like no medications, no substances, no, like you're staying sober, you go to work, you come back, and like this is, especially with someone with a lot of free time. Technically, I guess I have a lot of free time, but it's I'm not the type to go out and do a bunch of crazy stuff. I have the time, but I don't have the energy. I think that's the best way for me to describe it. For me to go out and like volunteer or like, I don't know, go out for a hike. Although I like hiking, transiting through the dirty transit of Montreal, which I'll get into, I guess now, is not something I want to do. If I lived closer to like McGill, I could see myself, going to more cafes, checking out more restaurants. Although I am happy to save my money, I think if I lived in McGill, I would have made use of the money that I make in the form of finding new interesting places, meeting maybe interesting people that are in similar situations as I am. But until I figure out what that's gonna look like, this is what you get. It's a little bit. No, never mind. I was gonna say it's a little bit like Stanley Parable, but it's that's a little bit too meta commentary and maybe a little bit too serious for the tone of Binding of Isaac. Again, this is not a serious game, so I don't want to have too serious of a conversation. That's for I guess when I'm not recording. This is a decent start, by the way, to the run. See, I can talk about the game and keep a sound going out of my mouth. I feel like when I'm listening to something, it's often not about what they're talking about, it's that they're just talking. So I will do what I like to hear. Like if that's and the thing is, like, if you're the early adopters that invested early into the things that I'm doing, I feel like you have a say, you have a shareholder. Like we can have a shareholder meeting where we talk about what you want to see and what you like and what you want out of your viewing experience. Because I am curious on what other people like listening to. I live in a world that I call my own brain, and I don't know what other people like. No one tells me, but I guess I do. Other people do tell me. They're like, "Oh, Kevin, you're doing great." I feel like every time I mention, "Oh, Kevin, you're doing great, and you're very interesting, and you're very handsome," it just sounds like crazy cope, and I am so painfully like self-aware how that might come across as, but in real life I am painfully self-aware, and to a point where I sometimes like would rather, oh my gosh, why did I use that key there? Sometimes when I share things, it's like, I don't know if, what the hell? I just completely lost my train of thought. This is such a weird room layout. So some people, like, they tell me what, I think Harry said, "Oh, like, I like this aspect." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Actually, I don't know if he said anything. He was like, "Oh, I like your stuff. You're doing great." But I want more specific kind of feedback. So Harry, if you're listening to this, I want more specific feedback that I can also refute and be like, no, that's not real. Harry says that my audio is great, my audio is not great. I'm gonna... I trust negative comments more than I trust positive comments. And I don't know, and I can't be the only one in this day and age where genuine kindness seems like it's just someone being overly nice to you. I simply cannot be the only one believing that. And when someone's mean, it's because they truly mean it. When they like something, it's because they're being too nice. And and other people's opinions are only right when other people's opinions are only right when they're congruent with what I expect out of myself. Not that it's what I want to hear. You know, people say that you hear what you want to hear. Or maybe you ask questions in the hopes of hearing what you want to hear. I feel like that's not the case. I feel like, of course, I want to hear that I am doing something right. That even that if I am introverted, that I can manage to hold up a conversation and have lead a conversation even in introverted settings. But when someone gives me a genuine compliment that says something like that, it's like, no, you're being too nice. It's because you're my friend. It's because you're my cat. It's because you're my dog. Of course you'll say nice things. If you're a real friend, you would say, Kevin, it fucking sucks. Because that is a genuine opinion, and no other opinion is valid. That has to be relatable. Oh my god. Oh my god, Magic Mushroom, hi. I didn't... Why, yeah. Yes, I am handsome. Alright. What was my initial docket? I look at the docket list. It's like my text message that has a ton of like short texts that it's like little memos that I leave myself. It's like, oh, this is an interesting thought. Maybe I can talk about it. But then I click start record and I just spew off a bunch of freaking nonsense, man. Just crazy. What my ability to lead a coherent conversation in front of a microphone is as of now just like simply non-existent. But just you wait. I feel like talking is a skill, and just like with anything, it's gonna take time to develop. So that is precisely why I say, like, good feedback goes a long way, and the earlier that I figure out how I can improve on the things that I like doing, the better it is for everyone, right? One of them is me saying I have always wanted to practice public speaking. And the best, from my understanding at least, best way to practice public speaking is to hear yourself talk. Like record yourself and like play it back and listen to it for the whole thing, and like paying attention to the intonations, fluctuations, even like word choices, patterns, whatever's, right? And even that is a little bit awkward for, I feel like, most people. It has to be. Even if you want to improve on... I did it just now. I just said, Fuck, man. I'm working on it, okay? I'm working on it. Not saying is so hard, though. It's so written into my genome. As an awkward human being, saying is such an ingrained part of my speech pattern. And obviously, or not necessarily obviously, as an introvert, you don't really get to hear yourself talk very much. Introverts rise up. Introverts are more, classically more listeners than they are speakers, and for obvious reasons. So therefore, I feel like it's harder because it's hard for introverts to speak. It's hard for introverts to practice speaking. So what I'm trying to say is it's all in due time, brother. It's all in due time. We're all gonna make it. Yeah, I was gonna talk about some sort of docket, and I completely... Oh, what is my docket? Okay, I will hold a coherent conversation. I'll hold a coherent conversation, I swear. Okay. This one, out of today it's called Shrimp Tank. So... Shrimp tank. It's a tank of shrimps. I've been thinking of... I feel like when I move into my new apartment, I want to get a shrimp tank, but I only have one concern. Actually, let me talk about the pros. Like, why do I want a shrimp tank? I think shrimp tanks... okay. It's a pet that if it dies, you're not gonna like... Of course it's a pet, and any pet that dies, you'll be sad over. But if I lost, a bunch of shrimps... Dude, there's shrimps. Like... There's just shrimps, man. There's shrimps. There's none to worry about. It's not like I've lost like a dog or a cat, or like a turtle or a snake. Turtle, it's a tiny little thing, right? So I imagine that if I owned a shrimp, I would not have to worry about the sadness or mourning over the loss of a goddamn shrimp. That's one pro. Second, and also if you accidentally kill it, like it's no big deal. It happens. And you can't say that with a cat or a dog. You can't just go up to your coworkers and be like, yeah, I accidentally killed my cat over the weekend. Ladies and people, what the fuck? There's less pressure on the pet owners to keep the pet alive. Granted, it's harder to kill a cat than or like a dog than to kill a shrimp. My point still stands. If I accidentally kill a shrimp, it won't be the end of the world. And also, they take up okay, another pro is that they take up little space and they make little noise. The thing about cats and dogs is they make a lot of noise, and especially for apartment living, that can be a bit of a nuisance. Maybe they bark when they're not supposed to, or maybe if it's a cat, like you have to, they meow for breakfast because you're 15 minutes late to their feeding time. Yeah, because you're 15 minutes late to your feeding time. They're gonna claw your eyes out and they're gonna like bite on your arm. What the heck is a shrimp gonna do? You know what I mean? I don't even know what noises shrimps make. Frankly, I don't know if they make a single sound. And when it's like, because over the holiday season, there's fireworks everywhere. So having 2 dogs at my parents' home, you know that they're like, they think the world is ending. I had to turn up the TV and like loudly talk to them so that they don't hear the firework noises. I don't have to do that with the goddamn shrimp. Shrimp's not gonna care if there's a firework or like an artillery missile outside. They're gonna shrimp around and eat algae or whatever the heck they do. Which I don't even know what they eat. I think I saw people feeding them zucchinis, so I don't know what the heck they eat. I guess they eat land vegetables. Yeah, and another thing is food. Oh no, they eat algae and then you make algae by putting a heat lamp or like not a heat lamp, like a bright light over the tank so that the algae eats the sunlight and then the shrimps eat the algae. I'm sure you sometimes need to supplement it with maybe little shrimp food pellets or whatever. But for the most part, like, they're not gonna eat like a goddamn labradoodle or like, like a German Shepherd that eats probably like more proteins in a day than I do. Even if I had like, I don't know, like 100 shrimps, I can't imagine 100 shrimps eating more in pounds than like a German Shepherd. Which is like also a reason why I wouldn't want to get big dogs, because like the bigger the dog, bigger the responsibility. And smaller shrimp, the less I need to worry about, in direct comparison. So I feel like those are the only pros. Maybe more will come to me later. But the only con of owning shrimps is that I freaking love eating shrimps. When I live alone, I don't eat a lot of red meats. More for the spiritual and the karmic guilt that I experience when I eat beef and like any other red meats when I have the choices not to. So, you know, when I have the choice, I just try not to buy red meat on the regular. So when I have to, so that's why I love eating like chicken, fish, shrimps, right? My my specific diet, my diet where my morality is, I try not to eat things that are as smart as a dog or a cat. Is that perfect? No. But it's I'm doing my part. Like, what the heck are you doing? Ordering pepperoni pizza. Like it's and there are people that are like, oh, it's not enough. Like, you have to get rid of all meat and yada yada yada. Like, that's not really what I want to do. I still want eggs, fish, chicken. They taste good. I just try to balance that with while trying to avoid the eating animals that are, you know, frankly cute. But I still like eat beef or pork or whatever when I'm, you know, when it's over the holidays, and because it's not a hard and fast rule, man. It's not that serious. It's normal to like eating meat, right? But even though shrimps are not as smart as a dog or a cat, I feel like when I start owning shrimps, I'm gonna have like a parental instinct to like protect shrimps. So I'm gonna see those darn like deep fried tiger prawns at Chinese restaurants, and I know that I'm gonna be like, I can't eat this. It's just like a little Billy Bob at home. That's swimming around eating algae in my aquarium in my new apartment. It's I feel like and I don't wanna, and I love eating shrimp, and I don't want my shrimp habit to change. I want to keep eating shrimp, man. It's they're just tasty, and honestly, they taste better than beef. In my opinion, shrimps are. I could live off of shrimp and fish. Honestly, I could live off of shrimp and fish. And if I start owning shrimp, then it's like I'm eating my baby boy. Do I really think that's gonna happen? No. But I a part of me does worry that that will actually happen, and then I'm gonna have one less like protein option, you know, on a day-to-day basis. Ah, but shrimps are so stupid though. Like, they don't even know they're alive. But what if I love my shrimps? I'll have to consult like shrimp enthusiasts on what on if owning shrimps change their shrimp eating habits. I will need to consult like an expert. Because like, imagine a different world where we didn't have dogs as pets. We would certainly be eating them. You know, right? In the Western culture, I mean. I don't think it'll be a crazy assertion to say if we didn't keep certain animals as pets, like as household pets, that we'd be eating them like any other like farm animals. There's no reason not to. You know, we would keep. Oh, I mean, dogs and cats. We kept them to. Well, we kept cats to. Oh, dead cat. We've kept cats to. What to chase away the rats, you know, in the olden days, right? That's why we had the cats. But I'm sure when they're, you know, when things got hard, it's either you starve to death or you eat your cat. You're gonna eat your cat, man. And if we didn't think cats were very cute, and if we didn't need cats, it would just be another animal to eat, depending on how easy they are to farm. Although I cannot imagine cats being very easy to farm for their like slivers of cat meat. I'm gonna get a shrimp tank. I might end up regretting it, but I feel like having a bunch of little itty bitty shrimps as pets, doesn't that sound cool? Or is that like just my autism kind of like leaking? I'll have to do a little bit more research on how much I'm willing to give up eating shrimp. So that's how you beat the Binding of Isaac. Thanks for watching. Shrimp, shrimp, shrimp.